Hello and welcome back to Ultima 7, the Black Gate and Forge of Virtue. So I more or less have my voice back now, so I thought we should keep going in Skara Brae. So, the Isle of the Dead, we've been directed at this point to a few different people on a couple different occasions. The first is Mistress Mordra, the town healer. The second is Cain, also known as the Tortured One, who's of course the person that we are here to see. And Horrence the Lich, who we've been told lives in a tower on the north end of the island. And finally Trent the blacksmith. And we were informed of some plan to deal with Horrence. That didn't go well. Oh no, Walking Dead. Let's get him. Die, fool. And of course, we've been warned of the Walking Dead, so let's get moving so that we don't keep running into them. Let's do Mistress Mordra first, because she's so close. Oh, something else is nearby. Oh, it was a bat. I didn't even see the bat. Alright, let's just get... Oh no, that music's gonna drive me crazy. Alright, let's... Come on, everybody, let's go this way. Did we get it? Okay. Do we have everybody? Alright, Mistress Mordra. Oh, and we missed the whole intro dialogue. Anyways, we got this part anyway. She lifts up her arms, and in one of them you see an Ankh. Words which you vaguely recognize flow from her lips, and the Ankh glows brightly. She stops chanting, and the Ankh dims. After her analysis of your condition is complete, "Ah, it is good to see that the world has been treating thee well. How may I serve thee, O virtuous one?" And she heals us, which is why I wanted to talk to her before getting in more combats. But unfortunately, because of that, we missed whatever she said to us. Says to us the first time we meet her. Anyways, name? She smiles at you. "Thou art quite forgetful, Lugan. As I have told thee, I am known as Mordra." Job. "I was the healer of this town before the fire erupted that shattered the lives of those here. I also dabbled in secret magical arts for a while." She winks at you slyly. Oh yeah? Magical arts? Her eyes twinkle mischievously. "If I were to reveal them to thee, they wouldn't be secret any longer, now would they?" Tell me about the fire. "'Twas the doom of this town, although I place no blame upon the alchemist, Cain. For I was the one who told him the recipe that I am sure will rid us of Horrence the Lich." Okay, yeah, what's the recipe? "'Twas but a simple mixture of a few ingredients. It should have worked." Her eyes narrow. "I expect that mayor of ours, Forsyth, fouled things up." The mayor? "That man is a bumbling idiot. It is his fault that the island was destroyed. I gave him the exact portions of the reagents to be used in the magical formula, and he paraphrased it to the alchemist. Cain. By the size of the fire, I am sure he misquoted the amount of mandrake root by tenfold. Damn that foolish man." Why would you go through the mayor? Why wouldn't you just tell Cain yourself? Broken telephone doesn't make things easier. Her brow creases, and you can see that this is a subject that she likes to avoid. Okay. Tell me about Cain. Now those who reside here call him the Tortured One. That is because he is in eternal pain caused by searing flames licking at his flesh. The pain is imagined, but to him 'tis as real as thou or I, or at least as real as thou art. Lives. wouldst thou like to know about the townsfolk of Skara Brae? Sure. I might have some new information on my fellow townsfolk that could be of use to thee, she says, adding a smile. Yes, I would. Very well, then. Of whom wouldst thou speak? Forsyth. She glowers at you for a moment. I have nothing to say about that bumbling clod. Quentin? That poor man has had a life fraught with grief. The one ailment none of my magics seem to be able to do much about. His wife, Gwen, was taken from him by a rather nasty group of men several years after the birth of their daughter, Marnie. I know what happened to her, but I have spared Quentin this knowledge out of pity. The men thought she was a noble lady due to her unsurpassed beauty. When they found out she was the wife of a lowly fisherman, they raped her brutally and sold her to a disreputable brothel. Fortunately, she died not long after her arrival there. Mordor looks profoundly saddened. That escalated quickly. Marnie. Yes, a half-told tale is no tale at all, she continues with her account of Quentin's sad life. Marnie took ill after her mother's abduction and lived with one foot in the grave for several years more. Finally, Quentin could take it no longer. He borrowed money from a violent man named Michael, who went by the moniker Blade. When he could not repay the loan, Blade slew him. However, this is not the end of my piteous tale, for even after his death, Quentin Shade was forced to remain in the town of Spirituality, where he had to watch his beloved Marnie grow more ill and eventually die. Yorl, the man who cared for Marnie after her father's death, built a shrine for her earthly body. She grows silent for a while, eyes downcast. It is my sincere hope that thou shalt rid us of Horrence, so that Quentin may join his loved ones, wherever they may be. Blade. Her face becomes passionless for the first time since you met her. The reason I know of this story is because my late brother, Ronaldo, sat on the bench at the High Court in U. He wrote to me about the capture of not only Blade, but also of the pirates who abducted Quentin's wife. The pirates spent the rest of their days in the lowest cells of a dungeon, and Blade met his fate upon the edge of a guillotine. A fitting death, dost thou not think? We will mark him. She gives you a cocked smile. That rascal opened one of the best pubs this side of Buccaneer's Den, or so he'd have thee believe. But he's a bit rough around the edges. But he knows how to buy good wine, that's for sure. And his taste in barmaids isn't half bad either. She winks. If thou hast met Paulette, thou dost know of what I speak. Paulette? She is quite a lovely girl, although a bit childlike in outlook. Her father was not of this world, I believe. He spoke with an odd inflection, and his appearance was very unlike most other people in Britannia. But then thou well knowest that many people of other worlds come to this land. I even heard it rumored that Lord British himself is an outworlder. Imagine that? A sly expression crosses her face. What of the ferryman? I know very little about that one. He's been here since the Lich called up the angry dead from their graves. I know one thing, though. Even shouldst thou defeat Horrence, he will remain here under the gas he serves. She looks a little sad as she tells you this. Angry dead. The graves of our ancestors have spilled forth in the dead of Skara Brae. Their minds and hearts are rotted, and they care not for the living, hence the name Angry Dead. No one. I see. Of what wouldst thou speak then? I guess that's it. Goodbye, young Lugan. Take care of thyself, but should ill befall thee, I hope that thou wilt come back here and let me administer to thine ailments. She smiles kindly as you leave. Alright, she's got some books, or a book anyways. What's in here? Ooh, reagents. Hell yeah. love me some reagents. Wow, there's a ton. Okay, great. Let's take that magic bolt back. How you doing for bolts, Iola? Triple crossbow. We really go through bolts quickly, obviously, with the triple crossbow. We'll leave the potions for now. Whoops. Artifacts of Darkness by Mordra Morgulin. I guess that's her last name. Mistress Mordra Morgulin. Within the pages of this handwritten book are many references to devices of destructive power. Amongst them are Mundane's skull and gem of immortality, Minax's crystal ring, and the dark core of Exodus's memories. More recent entries describe the crown of the Lich King, the Well of Souls, and a mysterious black rock sword, which apparently has the power to slay even one so powerful as Lord British. A short essay involving a metal plate hung above a door explains what seems to be a far simpler method of dispatching the noble monarch. Oh, I'm not familiar with that reference outside of the black rock sword. Okay. Well, let's keep moving. What is it now? Okay, just leave him alone. Oh, there's... They don't have anything, do they? I don't think they ever have anything, no. Alright, where's Trent at? There he is. Whoops. You see in the fire of the ghostly forge a large, heavily muscled ghost with a full beard and mustache. He does not notice your approach. Name. A deep furrow, accentuated by thick eyebrows, creases the ghost's weary brow. He doesn't look away from his work. I'm Trent. Now please, leave me to my work. He continues hammering on a strangely shaped iron cage. Job? Art thou blind? Canst thou not see that I am a smith? He doesn't seem the sort for idle conversation. Iron cage? Anger radiates from the large ghost in almost tangible waves. He looks up from the cage, and you see that the light of the fire isn't coming from the forge, it's coming from his eyes. I built this cage to destroy that bastard Horrence, who took my wife from me. For a moment, you think he's going to strike out at you. Then he unclenches his fists with a heavy sigh and returns to his work. Wife? One hot tear slips from the ghost's eye and falls on a heated piece of the iron cage. It sizzles and then is gone. Rowena was my life. Mine only joy in this world. His voice is almost tender, but then he returns to his guttural tones. He killed her and took that joy from me. Now I'm only a hollow shell of a man burning with hatred. Killed? In an attempt to steal her away from my side, the evil fiend sent his undead minions to bring her to the Dark Tower. The mindless creatures slew her as she struggled. The ghost turns to you in anguish. I could do naught to save her. The sheer number of skeletal warriors bore me to the ground as she was bereft of life. Insane determination flickers in the big ghost's eyes. For this I will never forgive and never forget. Rowena. He holds up one hand as you say the name of his late wife. Please do not say that name. It takes from me a little of mine hatred, which is all I have now. Wouldst thou rob me of the one thing that keeps me alive? It would seem that he is unaware of the fact that he is indeed no longer alive. An odd expression crosses his face. I gave her a music box for our wedding, and now it's all I have left to remember her by. His tone changes. Do thou see what thou hast done? I cannot work when I think of her. He returns to his work with renewed passion. You notice the music box he spoke of sitting nearby. Horrence? His whole body tenses as you speak. Horrence. The word comes out like a curse. I will see his foul spirit burn before mine eyes. Then I will laugh as he cries out pitifully for mercy. For some reason, you think that you'd rather avoid hearing that laugh. Okay, bye, Trent. If he heard you, he ignores the fact as you take your leave. You truly feel pity for this deeply wounded spirit. There's the music box. Don't think there's anything else here. Of course, there isn't a ton out in the obvious in Skara because the whole island is destroyed. But there are some things that are not in the obvious that we'll get to as we go. Okay, so we've got Kane and Horrence left. Kane is this way, I believe. Sounds like I was right. Oh. The ghostly man displays a face filled with pain. Name. I, he gasps, am called Cain, but I have also been given an alias by my fellow townspeople. To them I am known as the Tortured One. He moves his hands in a sweeping gesture, but seems to indicate nothing. And thou canst see why. Why? The flames, fool, the flames! Again he gasps. Job? He smirks at your comment. Thou wishest to know my job. I will tell thee my job, he shouts. To burn here in eternal flames for my crime against the fair city of Skara. That, he pauses for emphasis, is my job. After a moment he calms down. I apologize, my lord. I realize the question was not intended to further torment me. And he sighs and turns his face away from you. At one time, I was the alchemist here. Skara. 'Twas a thriving town before I destroyed it. His jaw tightens and his face clenches. Why? He again gasps in agony, but quickly regains control. There were so many innocent people, he says, staring directly at you. I cannot believe I am responsible for all their deaths. People? Thou wishest to know of whom I killed? I can only assume that all perished in the blaze. Markham and his barmaid, Paulette, Trent and Forsyth, and, of course, Mordra the healer. Forsyth? Forsyth is the mayor. Perhaps thou canst find him in the town hall, shouldst thou wish to speak with him. Trent? He was, the blacksmith. Mine one consolation lay with him, for I thought there would be at least one advantage to his death. Sadly, he inhales quickly, even that did not occur. Advantage. The Lich took from Trent the one most valuable thing in the blacksmith's life, his wife, Rowena. I had hoped his death would at least extinguish his pain. He smiles sardonically. Well, it did end his pain, in a manner of speaking. And the pain is gone, but only to be replaced by his obsessive anger. The poor fool does not even realize he's dead. He thrives on his anger. Rowena. She was all he lived for. When the Lich tried to take her from him, he was consumed by the emptiness of her death. But after his own demise, he stares directly at you, his bitter feelings soured even further. I suspect there is no reasoning with him now. Reasoning? I doubt he would believe even his own death, let alone care. I feel like my cold voice is really helped me get into this character. Blacksmith. He was once a master of all things metal. Now all he does, so I am told, is work endlessly on that blasted cage. Cage? I know nothing about it other than that it was necessary to put the Lich in it before my potion could work on him. Flames. He looks down at the ground, a remorseful expression on his face. The flames are my punishment. Years ago, when the evil Lich first exerted his reign of death over Skara, the healer, Mordra, conceived of a plan to remove the creature most foul. She designed a concoction that would destroy the magical bonds that form the lich. The formula was presented to our mayor, who passed it on to me. But, he scowls, something went wrong when I was preparing the potion. The proportions were mixed improperly, or I don't know. He shouts, his fist clenched. All I remember is the shop exploding, and the fire. All those people dead because of me, because of my mistake. Okay, can you tell us about the answers to the questions of life and death? The ghost looks at you with a hint of amusement. Thou art looking for the answers to the questions of life and death? Yes. The tortured one looks hard at you. After a pause he speaks. I will tell thee what I know if thou dost agree to help me. Free me. Free all of us. Free us from the evil lich. Lich. He is an evil spirit who inhabits poor dead Horance's body. He has a hold on every being in this town, even me. He sucks the life forces, the little that remained from our souls. Please, thou must free us from his power. Wilt thou try? Yeah. The tortured one's eyes brighten somewhat as he sees the light at the end of a long dark tunnel. Then thou hast given me hope. To begin, speak with the Mistress Morgra. She can tell thee how to accomplish this feat. Okay, will do. Bye. Goodbye, my lord. He suppresses a pained scream as you depart. Okay, so we should probably go check out Horrence too before we begin the quest. I want to check where we're getting experience points. The nice thing about completing the main quest is that Sentry's only level 5, I didn't realize that. In Ceremed, is that you really rip through the experience points as you complete parts of the main quest, unsurprisingly. So it is good to sort of progress that before you start to do some of the more dangerous things. Although I say that because I'm very nervous about people dying all the time. Because I don't think Janna resurrects for us anymore, and otherwise dealing with it is a pain in the ass. Anyways, here's the tower. Obviously. Got some badass statues. Now I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think they will just outright attack us. I think they're just sentries. Some nice stone beds. And a ghost. You see a ghostly lady wearing a long black gown. Something is a bit strange about the way she looks, but you can't quite place it. After a pause, she says, Greetings, my lord. I am Rowena, lady of this wondrous tower. She gestures around the room, indicating the moldering walls and cobwebbed rafters. Job? She stares blankly for a second, then, as if on cue, I am the mistress of the tower. I tend to my Lord Horance's needs and keep our place looking respectable. It would appear that she's been falling behind in the latter duty. Tower? After a moment, This is a lovely tower. Dost thou not agree? Before you can answer, she continues. Dost thou see the lovely rays of light playing across the flagstones of the floor? Water sparkles in the fountain. This is truly a beautiful place in which to live. Her eyes fix upon the floor. Horrence. She blinks once, then, Horrence, what a wonderful name. He found me lost and lonely and brought me here to be a lady. Is he not truly the most magnificent of lords? Okay. Bye-bye. She pauses. Goodbye, my lord. I hope thou hast enjoyed thy visit to our glorious tower. Please return whenever thou wishest. You feel as if you've been speaking to a statue. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, not gonna give us any more. Those are pretty badass. Oh, hello. Oh. Is he back there? Grandfather 10:52. In the AM or the PM. Whoa! Jiao! Whoops. So we get teleported out here. Giant bones. I actually forgot about that. Me and Saramed took the brunt of that. Saramed and I. Okay, whoops. Let's heal up. Wow. Oh, there he is. Hey, that worked. You step forward to confront this vile-looking creature, and he slowly turns to face you. As his intense gaze locks onto your form, you almost wish you hadn't been so bold. Lugan! A sardonic expression comes to his undead features. How may I help thee? You get the distinct impression that help is the last thing you'll get from the Lich. Shimino steps near you and speaks in a whispered tone. Do not trust this one, my lord. Methinks he'll cause naught but evil. My lord? I'm ready to go now, he says to you, cowering from the undead creature. Name. The Lich's dry features take on a haughty appearance. Thou mayest call me Lord Horrence. It would only be prudent, as I shall one day rule all of Britannia. You think so, do you? Surprised, Avatar? Come now. Surely thou dost not think Lord British will stand in my way. I know how to deal with his ilk. Job? A harsh cackle escapes his dry throat. I am the illustrious Lord of the Dead, soon to be Lord of all Britannia. Dost thou have any idea of the number of dead people and creatures there are? I thought not. The dead of the ages are mine to summon and control. The graves of the beloved ancestors will spew forth their contents into an army. A special treat for the living, mine undead monsters will be. Imagine a skeletal dragon that cannot be killed. Getting Game of Thrones vibes here. Consider a cabal of ever-living mages eternally enthralled to me. And the most beautiful part of my plot is that as the living die in these battles, and they will die, they will swell the ranks of the undead host. I will rule supreme, a world of the dead. A terrifying glimpse of his sick and twisted future causes you to shiver ever so slightly. And I will have a queen, the lovely Rowena. Rowena? She is the most beautiful lady I've ever been witness to. She shall have eternal beauty at my side, and we shall rule together. After hearing him speak of his plans for the future, you find this a very unlikely statement. Lord British, evil is a mild word for the sneer that... Evil is a mild word for the sneer that appears on the Lich's cracked lips. It has recently come to my attention that a certain ore found in the Britannian surface can, if fashioned properly, become the bane of the vaunted Lord British. I know this ore and have used it before for other purposes. I will use it once again to destroy that so-called Lord. Other purposes? He gestures at the walls of the tower. How else did thou expect my tower to withstand the ravaging effect that ether is having on my magic? Or, now, Avatar, that would be revealing. That I would have no secret from thee, would I? Of course, we have heard of a new ore that's, I guess we don't, well, a new ore, anyways, called Black Rock, of which he is, presumably referring to. Not presumably, he is. And Lord Horrence. It is good to hear such an obeisance from the Avatar. Perhaps thou wilt have a place in my new order. The Lich looks at you with an expression somewhat between malice and humor. New order. An expression of zeal lights the dead face of the Lich. Yes, Lugan, the dead will rule. I will be their leader, and thou canst become an Avatar to me. I don't want to fight him. I think if I say over my dead body, we fight, and I don't want to fight, so I'll say fine. Yes, I thought thou wouldst see the wisdom of my vision. He looks at you like a cat toying with a mouse. Obeisance. Why, what else wouldst thou call it? Surely thou art truly humbled by my majestic presence. Okay, bye. It is truly sad to see thee go, he says with a sardonic smile. Yeah, right. Good one, Dupre. Feel free to explore mine humble abode, though have a care, my guardians are none too intelligent and will most likely assault anything living. He smiles with his death's head grin. Okay, so that is probably a good place to stop, so we'll pick up next time trying to destroy this horribly evil character. Probably the most evil character we've seen so far. Anyways, see you then.